Hi guys, it's Spencer. Welcome to Sphinx Reads. Today I'll be doing the Welcome to the Black Parade book tag. I was tagged by Max from Max Reads for this tag, and this tag was originally created by the Pastel Writer, I think, and so I'll leave Max and the Pastel Writer's channels down below. I'm pretty sure this tag is kind of an emo phase related tag. I have no idea what the Black Parade is. I'm so sorry if I'm very uncultured. But let's get right into the questions. Number 1, The End, your favorite last book in a series. That would have to be The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. It's been a hot minute since I've finished a series and just had that satisfied feeling. Actually, I think most of the series that I've finished I've been satisfied by, but nothing quite comes close to the ending of The Hero of Ages and just the entire Mistborn trilogy. Number 2, Dead, an unlikable character who got what they deserved, or an unlikable character who should have gotten what was coming for them. I don't know which category this particular character would fall in because it's like a very heavy subject of debate, but I would have to answer Count Olaf from A Series of Unfortunate Events. Oof. I really dislike this character, and I know that he kind of turns into a more sympathetic character towards the end, but I still just do not care for this character. And some people might argue that the way things ended with him was what he deserved, but for me it was just like too easy. And I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but I just did not like this character, and I'm not sure that they got what they deserved, you know? Number 3, This Is How I Disappear, a book where your ship did not sail. Oof. Okay, this is from the Land of Stories, and technically like the romance elements in this book don't really start until book 3, so I can't really say much, but let's just say that my ship did not sail here. This ship is with our main character Alex and someone else, and I really did not like who Alex had ended up with by the end of this series. It infuriated me. It did not make sense. I did not like the love interest that she ended up being with, so it still bugs me to this day. Number 4, The Sharpest Lives. A character who is a party animal, or a character who uses humor or drinking, etc. as a bad coping mechanism. That would have to be Wayne from Mistborn Era 2. He's kind of like the comic relief in this series, but I also think he's one of the deeper characters. He's not the most endearing per se, but he has a lot of depth to his character that I really love. That's just more than just like his humor, which is really inappropriate at times. So definitely Wayne for this prompt. Number 5, Welcome to the Black Parade, a book that convinced you to join the fandom. So my answer for this one is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy. Before reading the Mistborn trilogy, I'd read Elantris and Warbreaker. I had mixed feelings about Elantris, and then Warbreaker I really loved, but I didn't consider myself a Brandon Sanderson fan just yet. But when I finished The Final Empire, I was like, man, I am a Brandon Sanderson fan, and I have proof of that because it's on the channel, my first review for the first Mistborn book. Number 6, I Don't Love You, a book with a toxic relationship, or a book where where the characters break up at some point. So I'm gonna go for the toxic relationship part of the prompt here, and that would have to be The Name of the Wind. So in the Kingkiller Chronicle, the love interest of our main character is really frustrating. And that's all I'm gonna say, because it's a huge part of the story, this relationship that our main character has with his love interest. And I just personally think, and a lot of people may disagree, but just me, I just think it's a really toxic relationship, and yeah, let's not talk about that anymore. Number 7, House of Wolves, a character who isn't afraid to speak their mind. So I'm just gonna find another excuse to bring up this series because this is one of my favorite series ever, and it's a middle grade series, and the character that I'm gonna use as an answer here is Amber Alaska. She's just like a very outspoken person, and she's also a perfectionist, and there is a particular reason why she's very vocal about her thoughts, which I can't say because that's kind of a spoiler that doesn't happen, or it is not fully revealed until the second book, so I just want all of you to just go pick up this series because it is one of my favorites. Go check out Masterminds by Gordon Corman. 8. Cancer, a book about illness or with a character coming to terms with a terminal illness. So my answer for this would be Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This is a very popular book, at least where I live. It is a memoir, and it is told beautifully. Mitch Albom has kind of a way of tugging at your heartstrings with his writing. It's about his old professor, Morrie Schwartz, who was dying of ALS and eventually dies at the end of the story. That's not really a spoiler because it's something that you've been anticipating from the beginning of the book. I really enjoyed this story, not as much as a lot of people do though, but I still really thought that his discussions with Morrie Schwartz before his passing were very insightful. I don't necessarily agree with everything that's said, but it's still a very thought-provoking read. Number 9, Mama, a character who is unabashedly bad or evil, or a rebellious character that isn't scared to disappoint their mama. So, going along with the theme of the mama, and my answer for this would be the other mother from Coraline. She's pretty evil, and I don't think I need to get into detail about that because just thinking about Coraline gives me the heebie-jeebies. Number 10, Sleep, a book about dreams or where dreams play an important role. So I had a hard time finding a book to answer this, but I'm gonna go for a children's book that, even though this is a children's book, I still highly recommend it because it's so good, and that is The Sandman, the story of Sanderson Mansnoozy by William Joyce. If you guys are familiar with the Rise of the Guardians movie, this is the story about the Sandman. And I just absolutely love it. The art is really cool. I love getting to know this character who doesn't really talk in the movie and kind of like getting his backstory. So I love this book. Number 11, Teenagers, a book written by a teenager or an adult novel where a teenager plays an important role. So I feel like a lot of people forget this, but The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, 2 of the main characters are technically teenagers, Kaladin and Shallan. It does not feel like it because they really are very mature for their age and they communicate pretty well, so a lot of people forget that they are teenagers all throughout this book. Number 12, Disenchanted, a character who is a musician. For this one I picked Sam from You Reach Sam by Dustin Tao. Sam plays the guitar in this book, although at the beginning of the book he's already dead and we are kind of just getting to know him through flashbacks from our main character in the story. I also highly recommend this book. I'm going to talk about it more in a future video, either in a single book review or kind of a wrap-up. Number 13, Famous Last Words, a book that saved your life, or you read at the perfect time of your life, or a character who inspires or motivates you. A book that really arrived or I had thought of reading at the perfect time of my life would have to be Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. I absolutely love this book, and I can understand why some people may not like it because it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of new things that are being presented, but when I read this, it was just the perfect thing that I needed, that I really needed to read at the time, and so I really appreciate what this book did for me. Not necessarily like the quality of the book, but what like the impact that Reasons to Stay Alive has had on me. And then 14, I can't really answer. It's a bonus question, and that is Blood, a book about vampires. I have not read any book about vampires, so I can't really answer that. Alright, that is it. If you guys have any answers that you'd like to share from any of these prompts, leave them down below in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please forget to subscribe so that you can do it later, and have a good day.